Ralf Rangnick, great start for him. Man, it did make me smile. After that 1-0 win over Crystal Palace, I heard a discussion about whether United could now go on and win the Premier League, which was a bit laughable, wasn't it, after a 1-0 home win. Tim, did you see any change, or what sort of change did you see in United's style of play against Palace?
Not really. I see them trying to press, but obviously Ralph's been there 2 weeks. I mean, I saw Jeremy Goss talking on the last piece, talking about they were pressing against Man United in 1992. I thought Ralph only brought it to our game in the last couple of weeks. I mean, I'm fed up with listening to it's not the only way to win a football match. I watched Real Madrid in Champions League action in midweek, and they do not press at all, but they look a real threat and could win it. But if you look at the next 10 games, Jeff, I mean, he obviously wants the job, because he says now's not the time to talk about maybe having a job in the future. It was the time when he had his opening press conference when he said he's recommended to the board on numerous occasions that he should take it for another year. He wants this job on a full-time basis. And after these next 10 games, they will win 90% of them games, and he will be the Messiah. But I just think Man United fans need to relax a little bit. I mean, if they play the way he wants them to play against the top teams, then you can give him credit. I think he's earned the right to be where he is, but I think he's lucky to be a Man United manager. I really do. No one else wanted him. There wasn't a fight. It wasn't a bun fight for this guy. You know, the guy was available. They think he's the best man for it. Yes, he looks very good at talking to the press. He spins it brilliantly. But
you're not a fan yet, are you?
I'm not a fan yet, no, and I think it's right to be cautious about it. I think, I've seen them before, managers who talk very, very well. You know, the talking has to be done on the pitch, and we have to see improvement in Man United. They're underachieving, and I say it time and time again. The art of a good manager is to get the best out of the individuals, what you've got at your disposal. And the key to that, if he keeps talking about this high press, the key to the high press is how high can your defenders defend up the pitch? Have you got centre-halves who can defend 1v1 on their own? And then your midfield will get closer to your forwards and it makes it easier. Then the likes of 36-year-old Ronaldo's will be able to get in contact and will be able to press. But when Varane comes back, it's going to help him out because he's got pace. Where that leaves Harry Maguire remains to be seen.
I mean, it's interesting because he's been talking this week, Merson. He said, it's not time to talk about the manager on a permanent basis. Quite right. I memean, one league game in. He's already said he's not happy with the midfield. Now, he's got McTominay and Fred and Pogba and Van der Beek and Manage and Matra and Lingard. I mean, if he really is an interim manager, and they're talking about Bellingham, maybe, or Calvin Phillips, if he really is an interim manager, who's going to call the shots when it comes to transfers?
Well, there's talk about him going upstairs. That was what I heard. What the deal was after the 6 months. He will go upstairs and he'll look after it from upstairs for a few years. I thought that was part of the deal, what I was told, but maybe that was wrong. They need a midfield player. This is Manchester United Football Club. When was the last time we watched Manchester United Football Club play a football match and we sat down after the game and gone, he dictated the game. He like a Roy Keane or a Paul Scholes. I know that was a long time ago, but you need a midfield player that's going to...
Pogba not capable of dictating the game at his best?
Yeah, at his best.
At his best, but is that going to be at Man United? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That man's got to be a 6, isn't he? He's got to be a deep line.
I mean, like you look at Modric. You're talking about the end of game. He run the show the other day. He played it at his own pace. He picked it up when he needed to go and make it quicker, and he slowed it down when he didn't. That's what Man United need. They haven't got that player. Until they get that player, I don't see how they're ever going to be successful again. And I mean that. Unless you run the show in midfield and you win a midfield battle, I don't see, they're going to be 4th or 5th again or 4th. And that's not Man United, the biggest club in the world. They need a top-draw midfield player. Where'd you get one from? I don't know.
Look, I'm not suggesting he runs the game, but if you want somebody to press and battle in midfield, Clinton, I mean, Fred could be a big beneficiary, couldn't he, of the Rangnick reign?
Yeah, he could, but he has to do a bit more. On the ball, as Merson says, right, and Tim said it there. You need midfielders that are going to get on the ball and play football and work hard. As he said, Roy Keane and Scholes could do that. Roy Keane worked hard and it created loads of chances. A lot of Man United fans have got on Fred's back. Give credit to him. That's a fantastic finish with his weaker right foot. It's a brilliant... That's not something that's worked on, though. I'm not having that worked on. That's instinct. Greenwood plays it to him, and that's a midfielder coming onto it. It's a fantastic finish.
You're telling me that they worked on that in training?
No, I said it's not working.
No, but he said they worked on that in training to roll the ball back to Fred, who hasn't scored in 17
on his
years
weaker
of
foot.
football.
On his weaker
foot to put it in the top corner.
Not at all.
Seriously.
You are a cynical bunch.
Jeff, you don't work on that.
How are you working on that?
You would say set it to his stronger foot. He said it to his weaker foot.
Or say it to someone else.
Say it to someone else, to be fair. That's just happened. That's just in a game situation. But listen, Fred's in there with McTominay. They're the players they've got at this precise moment. They're the two that he's banking on with the 2 6s that he plays with, 2 8s and 2 10s and 2 strikers. So that's what he's going to do.
The only thing I would say, Clinton, is about Fred is that every manager who takes over and goes in there plays him.
Yeah, so he must be doing something.
Always plays.
Yeah.
Always plays. So he must take the information what they're telling them, take it to the pitch and produce what they want from him. Whether that's good enough for Manchester United remains to be seen.
23 caps for Brazil suggests that, that he's no mug. £61 million they paid for him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. But he's not that. He might be the player that plays next to the person who dictates the game. Yeah. He might be that player when you bring someone in. Yeah. You need them players in the team. Of course you do. You've got to win the ball back. We've seen many years over with Arsenal. You don't want to be a team that are not very good, that brilliant with the ball and the worst team in the world without it. You don't want that.
Dawes, when Rangnick's talking about not being happy with midfield and we're talking about players who might come in, almost as big a priority, isn't it, is they need a wholesale clear-out, don't they? We talk about Anthony Martial, for example, this week, wanting to go. Well, that would suit United, wouldn't it? And plenty of others as well.
Well, when people come out and say, I want to go, before it's even January, and people linked, and I think, get your head down and work hard to get in that team. You're talking about leaving Manchester United. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to go here, there and everywhere. He hasn't done anything to go, there's going to be loads to take. They'll be taken, of course they will. But what, you're going to go better team than Manchester United? Not for me. But they do have to have a clear... I think you talk about you holding to McTominay and Fred. I think Pogba could sit in there. I know he's more attacking, but he could start creating. You play with 4 attackers, which they do. You've got Ronaldo, you've got Sancho, Fernandes and Rashford, who they started with last week. Managers like to go with 2 holders. You know what I mean?
You're right, he can do it.
4 attackers, he could play. I think Fred, say you got what you get on the tin, he has to be a holding, because if you put Pogba in there, you're now going with 5. Very much what England did with Gareth Southgate. You talk about Phillips and Rice being in there, you've got to think defensively as well. So, people saying you want to leave there and he's going to want changes, put his stamp on the team. He's got what he's got at the moment. And I know, Tim, you were there saying things don't happen in a week, but you can see what he's been working on, what he's trying to implement. And I think they did that against Crystal Palace. And, look, don't get carried away, because Palace could have nicked something.
Can you see, Mercer, what Dean Smith's been working on at Norwich? You seen any change, any improvement?
They're getting tighter. They're playing. They're moving up as a team. The problem he's got, and the frustration is with him, they need to move the ball quickly. The big Achilles heel against Newcastle with 10 men, it was too slow. It's got to be moved quicker. Yeah, I think he's made a difference. I think he's gone tighter. He's got Gilmour in the team. He wants to pass the ball and get him on the ball. But they need, for me. Today, I think it's a difficult game for Man United. I do. I think they'll get on the ball and they'll pass it around. They'll get a couple of chances. This is a hard job for Dean Smith. Hard job. At Aston Villa, he was working with quality footballers. Some good footballers. Steven Gerrard would have gone in there and can't believe his luck, how good some of the players are. Here it is a different kettle of fish. But he's making them a little bit tighter, and that's the name of the game at the moment. Go from basics. Try and keep clean sheets.
He's beaten United with Villa in September. If Norwich were to win against United this evening, he'd be the first manager to beat Manchester United with 2 separate clubs in the same season since 1908 to 1909. So that would be a little feather in his cap.